There we go. All right, so where to begin? I think we will start with breaking down the master grade box that we didn't break down during the last stream. And get it broken up. And that last box, now that I've got it broken all down for you, was the Master Grade Ground Gundam. We'll get the box art cut out and then we'll go on to the new goodies that I brought from the shed. Okay. It's a little bit of a larger box, so it's been a little stubborn. Try not to bend the box any. I think you guys will find that with this installation, the boxes are going to be a little bit more difficult to cut up. Because I let my Discord friends decide what boxes to choose for this stream. And the vast majority of the ones that they chose were master grade size or similar. There we go. Getting some nice straight cuts. And how is everyone doing today? Hope you all had a good weekend. I certainly had a good one. Quite an eventful one. And the drinks tonight are not to forget, but to celebrate. But there is our Master Grade Ground Gundam box art. These were some of the like early 2000s, late 90s Master Grades, where they had this kind of CG style for the artwork. And I'm glad it didn't really stick around. I like it. I think it looks fine. But it definitely, when I look at it, screams like, yeah, 90s, 2000s. Just something about it. And let me get this knife covered and we'll get right to it. So let me set that aside and we will start with our first of quite a few boxes to break down. And let me see which one to choose. Let's get kind of the boring ones out of the way first. So we've got our Master Grade Nemo, this being the Unicorn Colors version. More specifically, the Earth Federation Ground Forces colors. So it's kind of a minty green and a dark blue. Whereas in Zeta, it was a darker, like kind of forest green with the dark blue. And then it's not to be confused with the Unicorn Desert Colors, which was a sand brown kind of tan. And then that, again, that darker navy blue. But let's get this box open. We've got our wonderful Master Grade Nemo manual. This is that older style manual where it's got the cool cross section showing some like action shots of the model. And then if you scroll back through the manual, you've got these illustrated crosscuts of like the inner workings of the mobile suit. I really wish Master Grade still had this kind of a manual. There's so much like high grades now. A lot of them are, where it's just, we're just going to show you how you put the kit together. We're not going to get into the lore of the mobile suit or anything like that. And it's kind of boring, honestly. And then you also get this sheet that has the specific parts for the unicorn color. the unicorn version. So it's showing you like, hey, don't use the colors that we've marked off here. And then if you flip this around, I do believe it came with a weapon specific to it, but I don't. Yeah, so it came with the gem rifle and the beam spray gun from the, I want to say the gem type C's. I think it reused those same runners. We'll set that aside as well. And going over the contents of the box, it looks like we've got the rifle parts for the shorter barrel, the longer barrel, the extra magazine for the long barrel. We've got the parts for that kind of 0083 style beam spray gun. We got an extra backpack part, which I believe is also from the Gem Type C. And then, yeah, because this runner is from the Gem Type C, so that's all from that. And then we got some extra thruster bells, which will be nice to have. Set that aside. We've got our spare runners, polycaps. Looks like our first of a few empty runners that we'll have. Empty. Got some spare Nemo parts. So another thruster bell, a kind of shoulder vernier. We'll cut those out for sure. And then some extra foot pieces. And then we got, it looks like some skirt armor. So you can make the skirts kind of the dark blue, like most Nemos have. Or you could use that minty kind of green. And that would be the Earth Federation Ground Forces colors. But actually on kind of this runner, I'm not seeing anything that I'd save. So I'm going to just chunk that. And then we got an empty runner. Got a seated pilot figure. We'll cut that out. We got the Nemo's face in blue, interestingly enough. We got some side ear muffs for the gem. We have an extra, or Nemo rather. We got an extra clear visor. So the visor for the unicorn colors, it actually came in blue. And then we got some extra chest pieces, pieces for the shield, which you don't use. And then the Nemo has a similar styled backpack to the Gem Sniper 2. So really not much on here that I would take except for maybe these shield pieces. So let me get those cut out real quick. But I think the rest of the shield, we assembled it for the Nemo itself. Oh, we'll get this pilot cut out too. I'll add him to our stack of pilot figures. I'm gonna cut out these chest pieces too. You don't see many chest vents that are spares. So I'll cut them out, save them. There we go. And then, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this runner. I don't see anything else that I feel like I need or that I would keep. Because we get this spare visor, which is really neat, but without having the Nemo to put it in, it's kind of limited on what it will fit in. And I guess I could put together the Nemo head and just have an extra Nemo head lying around. But I kind of don't want to. So I'm just going to say, screw it. These extra skirt pieces, some more of those foot pieces. We'll save those. Looks like we got a spare beam saber. Nothing on that runner. Whole lot of nothing on this runner too. And then we got a few extra goodies here in the box. Looks like some sort of a spare magazine. I think that goes to the shorter clip for the gem machine gun. So we'll set that aside. Just an extra kind of mechanical piece. That's not going to be useful for anything. Oh, we do get a spare antenna. I'll take that. All right, and everything else we will set aside. Okay, so we will get to work on cutting up these spare parts. We've got our shield pieces, but without the rest of the shield, I think this is going to be about it that we get. So I'm just going to cut them up, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll find a use for them. And set that over there. Got our spare pilot figure. Get him cut out. And then he will promptly go in the war crimes pile. War crimes pile, I hear you asking? Well, the war crimes pile is where I keep all of my spare unpainted pilot figures. Whether I want to use them for like a custom project, for a diorama, whatever. I've got a stack kind of over here of spare pilots that I just kind of pile them up, and I've affectionately called it my war crimes pile because I don't know what else to call it. It's a pile of dead bodies, lifeless bodies, and we will cut out the spare beam saber now. Which I've always liked this kind of Zeta style Nemo beam saber. Set that runner down there. And get these pieces cut off. The nubs. There we go. And I had a little bit of a nub left here. There we go. Get a little bit more of that off. All right, there's our beam saber. Get our spares kind of set aside here. And then we got our chest vents. We'll get those cut up and put aside. And then if you will excuse me, I'm gonna do a quick audio check. Don't mind me. All right, audio is still good. I can hear the playback. Let's get these veneers cut out. I don't really care that these veneers are in that kind of icky mint green, because they're gonna get painted anyway. It looks like they might have had some piece that would have gone in them to add some extra color separation, but those pieces likely went onto the model itself. So what I think I'll do whenever I do decide to use these is I can probably take a drill bit and make a tiny hole in that like kind of center of the peg there. I'm gonna hold it up closer for you. In the center of that peg there, I can cut a small hole in and make it into like a nozzle tipped veneer. I think that'd be pretty neat. I can hear my cats outside the door. Surprised they aren't scratching at it or meowing. Usually they get upset when I'm in here without them. Excuse me. And can't forget about the shoulder veneer. Does that have a... Okay, it does have a connection peg, which can always be shaved down and omitted. And nothing else from that runner that I needed or wanted. All right. And got our other vernier, set that there. And there you go. I need to clip my fingernails, sorry fellas. And now for some poly caps. Can never have too many poly caps. Because I don't know about you, whenever I build, typically I'll lose 2 or 3 of them during the build. I'll drop them. And you know, oftentimes I'll find them, I'll pick them up, no worries, no problem. But sometimes they get lost in the void, especially when I lived in my apartment and my office, it had kind of a shag rug. And man, if anything fell in that, it was pretty much good as gone. And then when I still lived at home, we had tile floors, which was fine. It was great, actually. But my office, it was just kind of out in the middle of the living room. So if anything, or if anyone came through, they could very easily kick that runner or the part, polycap, whatever. They could kick it somewhere, and I might not ever find it until much later. So it's definitely been nice living on my own. What do we have here? I want to say this goes on the rifle. I think that's kind of the peg that kind of juts out so that you can peg it onto things. Let's see here. The rifle parts, I think I'll cut them out, but I can't really do a whole lot with them at the moment. But let me get these verniers first, because those I know I can use.